Welcome, everyone. We're going to be looking at Psalm 123 today. And it's an ancient song, but it speaks to something so incredibly modern. That feeling of being looked down on, maybe even mocked, simply because of your faith in Jesus. If you have ever felt that sting, this devotional is for you.
It's just a gut punch, isn't it? It can feel so isolating. But the amazing thing is, you are not the first person to feel this way, not by a long shot. So let's dive into this incredible song, because it doesn't just acknowledge that pain, it offers us a really powerful God-centered response.
All right, so the psalm starts in a pretty surprising way. Before it even mentions the problem, before it gets into the hurt, it immediately declares the solution. Now, why is that so powerful? Because it forces us to frame our entire struggle from the perspective of the answer. It starts with this deliberate, conscious choice to just look up. So, the very first verse says, "Unto thee lift I up mine eyes, O thou that dwellest in the heavens." This single line sets the entire tone. It's an immediate act of trust, and by calling God the one who dwellest in the heavens, the psalmist is doing something really specific. He's reminding himself, and us, that God is enthroned way, way above all our earthly troubles. It's a powerful declaration of where our real help comes from.
And this visual really just nails the choice we have to make, right? We can get stuck in that horizontal confusion, all the problems, all the people, all the noise, right there at eye level. Or we can choose vertical certainty by lifting our eyes to God's throne and remembering, oh right, He's in control.
So now the psalm builds on this idea. See, it doesn't just say, hey, look up, and leave us hanging. It gives us this incredible metaphor to show us how to look up, what that gaze of complete trust actually looks like in practice.
Listen to this from verse 2. "Behold, as the eyes of servants look unto the hand of their master, so our eyes wait upon the Lord our God until that He have mercy upon us." Now, back in the ancient world, this image of a servant watching their master's hand, well, everyone would have gotten it instantly. It's a picture of complete, attentive, and really patient dependence.
So what exactly are they watching for in the master's hand? Well, it breaks down into a few key things: provision, guidance, approval, and ultimately, mercy. And this is so important. This is not a demanding stare, trying to force God's hand. It's a humble, patient watchfulness. We're looking to Him for everything, and we're trusting His timing completely.
So why is this posture of trust so absolutely critical? Why the urgency? Well, this is where the psalmist kind of pulls back the curtain and shows us the deep, raw pain that's driving this entire prayer in the first place.
You can just hear the desperation in that repetition. Have mercy upon us, O Lord. Have mercy upon us. This isn't some casual, polite request. This is the cry of a soul at its breaking point. It's someone who has been so filled with contempt that they can't bear the weight anymore.
And we need to be really clear about this word, contempt. It's so much more than just a disagreement. Contempt is the feeling that a person is completely beneath you, that they're worthless, that they deserve scorn. It's a spiritual attack designed to make you feel small and foolish for your faith.
And then the final verse of the psalm comes right out and tells us where this awful scorn is coming from. It says, "Our soul is exceedingly filled with the scorning of those that are at ease and with the contempt of the proud." So you see, it's not just random. It's coming from a very specific kind of person.
The contempt comes from two groups. First, those that are at ease, the comfortable, the self-sufficient, and second, the proud, the arrogant and the self-reliant. And if you think about it, from their perspective, a life of humble, moment-by-moment faith in God, well, it must look absolutely foolish. And so they mock what they don't understand.
But, and this is a huge but, here is where we find so much comfort. We have to remember God's perspective. Proverbs 16:18 tells us, "Pride goeth before destruction, and an haughty spirit before a fall." So while the world might look at the proud and be impressed, God sees it completely differently. And that one truth, it just reframes the entire situation, doesn't it?
Okay, let's bring this all home. How do we turn this ancient poem into a super practical guide for our lives today, especially when we face that mockery for our faith in Jesus? What do we actually do?
All right, here are 4 practical actions drawn straight from this psalm. Number 1, redirect your focus upward. Just like verse 1, make that conscious choice. Number 2, adopt a servant's posture, that humble, waiting, watchful attitude. Number 3, articulate your pain to God. Be honest. Tell Him you're filled with contempt. And number 4, rest in God's perspective. Stop looking for the world's approval and find your peace in what He thinks.
So in the end, it all comes down to this one question.
It's the challenge that Psalm 123 leaves right at our feet. When the world looks down on you, where will you choose to look? Because the world will have its opinions, its scorn, its contempt. That's a given. But we have a choice we can make every single day, every single moment. When they look down, we can choose to look up.
Thank you so much for joining us for this explainer on finding strength through the upward gaze. We pray that the truth of Psalm 123 encourages you and equips you to fix your eyes on Him who dwells in the heavens.